Good morning, my name is Craig Posner, and I'm the Director of Athletics at Springfield College. Thank you, that was very kind. Before I make some brief remarks this morning, please allow me a moment to thank Tammy and the alumni staff, and in particular Maria, who served as the point person for this day of celebration of gymnastics at Springfield College, including our tribute to Coach Raymond and Coach Posner. And a thank you in advance to our MC this morning. His role as the coordinator of media relations, John Santer, is a valued member of the athletics team who, together with the assistant athletics director for communication, Brian McGoffin, love to tell the stories of our student athletes across all media platforms. John, you may be interested to know, has recently taken a leadership role within the NCGA, working with our own Jen Miller McEachran to enhance Division III women's gymnastics. Thanks, John. Invited guests, welcome. Alums, welcome home. Allow me to share a little bit about some recent undertakings in athletics at your alma mater. As you likely know, we kicked off homecoming weekend with a double ribbon cutting ceremony on our new baseball diamond, Archie Allen Field. We did this with the Iron Man of professional baseball, Cal Ripken Jr. With the support of President Cooper and the Board of Trustees, Springfield College partnered with the Cal Ripken Senior Foundation to build the first of its kind intercollegiate baseball diamond with an ability field built into right field. We are able to live our mission in this wonderful facility, as just this past weekend, when in addition of our baseball team completing its fall season, we hosted 2 high school all-star games on the collegiate diamond and the Miracle League of Western Massachusetts, who offers baseball to those with cognitive, mental, physical, or social disabilities, populated the ability field. In late September, we were fortunate to have the president of the NCAA, Dr. Mark Emmert, on campus for 3 distinct sessions, one with our student athletes, one with the Department of Athletics, and one with our multi-sport conference, the NUMACs, ADs, and presidents. To get Dr. Emmert to a Division III campus was a great feat for Springfield College, and I truly believe he and his team left Alden Street with an appreciation of the Springfield way. By the way, the group gathered here this morning would likely be very interested to know that during both the student athlete and coaches session with President Emmert, he faced questions about the NCAA's role and its efforts in supporting and growing intercollegiate gymnastics programs. Of our roughly 700 student athletes, 46 had a perfect 4.0 GPA in the spring 2017 term. Our student athletes completed over 4,000 hours of community service and had an average combined GPA of 3.32. 2 weeks into the fall term, about a month ago, the fall programs had a combined record of 29-2, and at one point in late September, 5 programs were either receiving votes or ranked in the top 25 in the nation. In the sport you are most interested in, Coach Posner in his last year traveled with 6 student athletes to the NCAA championships, and Coach Najuk's squad qualified for the NCGA Nationals. You will hear from Coach Najuk and our new coach, 2-time alum Matt Davis, this morning. As you can appreciate, neither will be at the respective dinners this evening. They are otherwise occupied. Allow me to say I am confident the future of gymnastics at Springfield College is in great hands with Coach Najuk and Coach Davis. I am looking forward to celebrating their years of service to the college somewhere around 2053. That sounds like a long time, right?
I will be here.
One could argue 35 years is a long time. Embedded into the celebration of gymnastics is a tribute to 2 coaches whose tenure was exactly that. Coach Steve Posner and Coach Cheryl Raymond led their squads to championships, be they ECAC, EIGL, NCGA, or USAG. They led individuals to All-America and national champion status. They impacted hundreds and hundreds of student athletes in the gym, and as teacher coaches, hundreds more in the classroom with walls. For 35 years, they recruited. In fact, during their tenure, they saw drastic changes in the recruitment of Division III student athletes. To the former student athletes in the room, you helped move and set up equipment for 4 years, often late on a Saturday night. They did it for 35. And oh yeah, they also had that other responsibility, with no release time and no additional compensation as co-directors of the home show. For their long-lasting and enduring service to Springfield College, embedding a tribute to Coach Posner and Coach Raymond in this celebration of gymnastics during homecoming weekends was perhaps the easiest decision I have made as the Director of Athletics. I had the great fortune to work with Coach Raymond for 19 years and Coach Posner for 21. The college was also fortunate, and the gymnastics student athletes were perhaps the most fortunate. Steve and Cheryl, please stand and be recognized. One cannot enter a building on the 20th floor. A foundation, a first floor, a first team, if you will, is needed. We are fortunate to have with us today at this brunch the gymnastics coaching icons who passed the torch to Steve and Cheryl, and in doing so, paved the way of the programs of today. Coach Potter, Coach Murray, and Coach Walcott. Coaching legends, really. And I was fortunate to have two as professors in their teacher-coach roles, Dr. Murray and Dr. Potter. And I had the privilege of working for Frank as a teaching fellow in the athletics office just before his retirement and my initial appointment at this institution 22 years ago. And I could say honestly, no one, and I mean no one, it wasn't even close, no one was more supportive and congratulatory when I assumed my current role than Frank Walcott. Coach Potter, Coach Murray, and Coach Walcott, we are grateful for your role in starting and building the strong tradition that is Springfield College Gymnastics. Please stand and be recognized. That's one of the things that makes this institution distinctive. It's our long, strong tradition. Also, I'm very grateful that a former teacher coach who worked with all 5 of those teacher coaches joined us today. Men's and women's volleyball, a longer tenure on the women's side. Coach Joel Deering, thanks for joining us. We are expecting this crowd to double in size at the combined pre-dinner reception later today. I share with you this morning that some of my comments made here will be repeated in a condensed version this evening at the reception. But in addition, there will be a major announcement made by me at the reception that will have a direct impact on the future of gymnastics at Springfield College. I feel both blessed and honored to serve as at the only Division III institution in the country that offers both men's and women's gymnastics. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for your support. Enjoy the rest of the day. John, take it away.
Thanks, Craig. We're going to get the ball rolling right away. I know her, and this is a funny story, but every year I travel to Florida with our softball team for spring break, and she sits behind the backstop for 10 games and is ruthless with the umpires. But that's just to say about the passion that she brings to everything Springfield College. Coach Potter, I'm coming to you. Coach Potter, just talk a little bit about the first gymnastics teams and the student athletes that you were able to coach.
Well, actually I've got a story to tell first that maybe 3 or 4 of you in this audience will remember. But Frank came to me in the early 60s after I had returned to teach at Springfield and said, Di, I want to start to add the women to the traveling exhibition team, and we need a coach. And I said, well, that's great, but I coach softball. And he said, I need somebody to at least do it, because otherwise we can't start it. So I said yes. Have no idea to this date why I said yes. But to get it started, we had to get the approval of Ruth Evans, who was the head of women's physical education. I can remember vividly standing in her office with Frank and her saying, I will okay it, but on your trips, the boys will sit in the back of the bus and the girls will sit in the front.
And the girls will sleep in a dormitory.
And until we got down around the corner on Hickory, that was the way they sat. And coming back, just on the possibility that Ruth would be on campus on a Sunday, they got back in their seats as we drove into campus. Now, I have a couple of other stories. One, I'm not sure who in this room instigated it, but when we were on trips, the fear of death was put into everybody because we stayed in parents' homes. And you had to be back at the bus at the given time. This would be on a Saturday after doing the Friday show. And if you weren't, they were going to leave without you, and the parents would have to take you to the next stop. So I was saying, I can't now remember who it was with, but they were dawdling around, and I'm thinking, oh, Potty, you are going to be in big doo-doo trouble. Sure enough, we get back to the school, and there's no bus. And I'm thinking, oh. And I'm telling them, we've got to, I can't remember where we were going that Saturday. And then all of a sudden, the bus pulls out from behind the school. Somebody had convinced Frankie to back the bus around there and see what would happen with Potter. The last story, on those trips, we stayed with families. And on this one particular trip, I think Frankie and Jeannie Bennett and Frank and I were staying at a hotel. But we were hungry, so we stopped at this diner. This is a bus pulling up at 11:15 at night. And I see the people in the diner going, oh, there can't be a bus pulling in at this hour. And then Frankie and Jeannie and I walked out of the bus. And that was all it was. So my experience with a few of you here in this room, obviously, was unbelievable for a softball coach to have the opportunity to really, off the seat of my pants, get a program started. But the gal sitting right over here is the one that really started the women's gymnastics program. Mimi Murray came as a graduate assistant, and she really knew something about gymnastics. And her record stands alone. There's no question. My hat's off to her for really being the person that started this program. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. All right, this time, senior gymnast from the men's team. He's a biology major from Jacksonville, Florida. We'd like to welcome Phil Ordonez.
So my experience as a gymnast here at Springfield College is always something that I find difficult to put into words. As a kid, I always wanted to be a part of the team and to be able to share the experiences of competition with other people. My gym back home only had about 8 guys while I was there, and they were always younger than me. Coming in as a freshman, my dream was coming true, and I had no idea what to expect. I was extremely nervous that since I didn't know anyone at all, I would be an outsider, but I couldn't have been any more wrong. I was welcomed immediately by everyone on the team. Help was offered whenever I needed it, and advice was given whenever I was confused. Home show was a completely foreign concept to me, but I soon got the idea. Countless members of the team, and even several alumni, approached me with advice and a warm welcome onto the team. Throughout the years, I have been offered help from members of the team that I never knew, and have received support in any decision that I've made. I've been beyond inspired year after year, seeing the alums return in support of the team and to retain their relationships with each other. From my experience, this team is not just about gymnastics. The team has become a family, growing each year, and I believe it has stemmed from those who have come before me. I believe it was people like you who shaped the team into an environment that goes beyond gymnastics and beyond friendship. I want to thank you all for paving the road not only for me, but for every gymnast to come. As I'm sure you know, being a part of this team is an experience unlike any other. Adventures such as home show and traveling with the team is something I hold incredibly close to my heart and will never forget. The gymnastics was incredible, and I do not want to take anything away from it, but what has really made my entire career here as a student athlete has been the people. I will always remember both the high and low moments with my teammates and coaches. Coach Paz, you were always there to calm me down whenever I had a bad day and assumed a role that exceeds what a coach is. I watched for 3 years as you grew this program and continued to take us gymnasts under your wing when you didn't have to, and I will always be grateful for it. And to everyone in this room, I believe it was through you, directly or indirectly, that we on the team have come to understand what it means to wear the SC logo on our chests. So again, thank you. As the lights dim for my last home show tonight, I want you all to know I have you all in my mind and all in my heart and mind, and that we would not be where we are, nor would I have had the unimaginable experiences here without you. Have a great rest of the day, and I hope you enjoy the show. Go Pride Pride.
Nice job, Phil. My junior year of college here at Springfield College, I took a class, and it's called Heritage and Values. And it said on my schedule, Dr. Murray, and I said I had no idea what to expect going into the class. I didn't even know what heritage and values meant. But I'll tell you that I never learned so much about Springfield College in 6 months than I did from Dr. Mimi Murray, who we're going to hear from next. So without further ado, she's a class of 1961, graduate class of 1968, coached our women's team from 1968 to 1974. Dr. Mimi Murray. Dr. Murray, I know you've been involved with gymnastics at the international level. Could you please share with us some of the highlights from your international experiences?
Thank you, Johnny. He was an A student. He was. He does right well. Good thing with his job now. Anyway, thank you all for being here, number one, and being back at our college, coming home. And I want to congratulate certainly Cheryl and Steve for, you made it 35 years. I made it 6 years. My gray hairs are from balance beam routine. Probably yours, Stewie. Anyway, I'm delighted to be here and see all of you. It's wonderful. Thank you, Diane. We did have some good laughs on that bus. One quick bus story before I talk about international stuff. We got, because some of the, Frank, wherever you are, some of the men were late coming back on a Sunday morning. And so I kept saying, come on, Frank, let's have the bus go, let's go. No, we can't do that now. What are we gonna do, we get back to the college? So we waited and we waited. We were in the middle of a blizzard, and we got stuck on 95 somewhere in Connecticut. Bumper to bumper traffic, couldn't move anywhere, the bus was just still, and the snow was piling up. Honestly, it was by the time we got back here, there were 4 feet, not 4 feet, but 3 feet of snow. But anyway, the team was all very hungry. They all had on their pajamas by then. Oh, that was another thing too, the dress code ended at Hickory Street. So they all had on their pajamas, and they saw this blonde red truck, I'll never forget it, stalled in front of it. All of a sudden, the door of the bus flew open. They all ran out, made a raid on the blonde red truck, and the guy was all a nervous wreck, and then he looked, these kids who looked starved, right? And we got back here about 4 a.m., but it was the longest bus ride, longest trip I ever had, Frank, I don't know. And you're very charming and everything, but it was a long time sitting next to you. You owe me now. I hope that pay on that. And I just want to say to all of to both Cheryl and Steve, your careers have been so wonderful and you've accomplished so much, and not only your longevity, but what you've done with our team, and you've kept that Springfield College spirit, mind, and body, the whole person alive, everything that you've done. So can't thank you enough for that, but you never had to load the bus. And 2 nights every week, 2 days every weekend. So, John, my international experience, I've been very blessed. I was with the United States team in what was the Soviet Union. We were the first American into the Soviet Union at that time. It was during the Cold War. And it was very interesting. It was like those old Cold War movies, you know, right after World War II. Everything there was very, very different. And so often we were followed, wild American athletes, you know, we were followed wherever we went by these guys had really trench coats and hats, writing notes. But I've also had the experience of working with the USA equestrian team at the Olympics, as well as the USA field hockey team, and then individual athletes. And the thing that I can remark the most about is the fact that athletes, just as here at Springfield, there's a camaraderie, there's a respect, and there is a mutual caring for each other, for the dedication that each one has put forth to be a part. And so there aren't the dissensions that in athletics and at the Olympics, between teams that we often hear. Oh, Soviet, now Russia. Oh, Russia versus United States. Oh boy, they hate each other. Nothing like that. The athletes all mix in the Olympic Village. They chat with each other. Look at Springfield College, the community we have of athletics. So my experience internationally really mirrored my experiences here at this wonderful institution. And one name that we haven't mentioned, being the self-appointed, now college historian on campus, we haven't mentioned Coach Judd. Certainly Coach Judd started gymnastics at Springfield College, and Frank just took over what Coach had done and just made it even better. But things like the tableaus you'll see tonight, all of you remember being in that. I remember Patty Corrigan illegally getting into the first tableau. It was all men at one time. And Patty out there with silver paint on, and Coach was so mad at her. Not that I encouraged her or anything like that. But anyway, things like the tableaus and the whole gymnastics exhibition team, the idea of that began with Coach Walda. And as another quick little tidbit, members of the first Springfield College gymnastics team were 2 other Springfield College greats, and Solonzo Stagg and James Naismith. Stagg, the father of American football, Naismith, the inventor of basketball. They both were on the first, that I can find out, collegiate, our team, and it was at the New York, Brooklyn City YMCA, and it was the first collegiate gymnastics meet in the United States that I know of. So isn't that remarkable how all around all of you are, and just continued on with the torch at Springfield College. So thank you, John.
Thank you, Dr. Murray. Next, we're going to hear from longtime men's coach Frank Walcott, class of 1952, graduate class of 1960. Don't worry, Frank, I'm coming to you. Frank, you'll have a chance to talk about Coach Posner tonight. So for the next couple minutes, would you like to share your experiences with Cheryl Raymond and what she meant to the women's gymnastics program?
I'd be glad to, but to show you that I'll be 90 years old next year, I'm going to do a handstand for her.
It is butter. Ever so talented, Frank Walcott.
Thank you. Before I speak, I can't say before I speak because I'm speaking now. But there's a gentleman in the room that I would like to acknowledge, that is Jeff Cardinelli, who was an Olympic, member of the Olympic team from Springfield College in our first national championship, and was a champion on the parallel bars. Jeff Cardinelli, please stand up. First, I'd like to speak to Diane Pryor, because she started the women's team, and she was a great soccer coach, softball coach, great softball coach, and if you're a coach, you're a coach. And she took over the women's gymnastics team, and she was fantastic. I helped her a little bit with some of the apparatus and so forth at the beginning, and at the end, she was just fantastic, and passed along a great tradition to Coach Murray, Mimi Murray, and in Mimi Murray's first year, she had been Diane's assistant for a year, maybe a year. She won the first national championship in the history of Springfield College, and it was in women's gymnastics. Unfortunately, it's not acknowledged very much, because at that time, women didn't have an NCAA program. They had a program sponsored by the GPWS, which is the Women's Association of Physical Education, and she won the championship at Springfield College on our floor here. And it should be acknowledged that the women won the first national championship in the history of the Springfield College. And because it was an NCAA championship, the women hadn't joined the NCAA for about maybe 10 years later. It's hardly acknowledged. The second team to win the national championship in Springfield history was the 1977 team that I was privileged to coach. And the third team in Springfield College history to win the NCAA championship was in 2008, the volleyball team won the third national championship. And that was, of course, in volleyball. They've won several since. I just wanted to get that straight. Diane Pryor, I have to talk about her, was a fantastic coach coming from the softball team. Her personality, her ability to coach anything, gave Springfield College a start ahead of most all other colleges. And as a result of it, in 5 years, we were to have the first national championship for women ever for colleges in the United States when Dr. Murray came along and took her place. In terms of, did I say Dr. Murray? Mimi Murray. In terms of Mimi Murray, she was unbelievable as a personality, as a coach, and she kept my men's team in line, so I didn't have to do it, and kept me in line. And of course, I believe after winning the national championship, the women went on to win 3 or 4 more. I'm supposed to speak today about the women's coach, I say the new women's coach, the retiring women's coach, Cheryl Raymond, who I would like to say, most of you don't know, grew up in my backyard. I'm not her father, but I feel like I am to some degree because she spent so much time there. She worked in our day camp, a summer sports school in Wilbraham, which went for 41 years. She worked there. First, she was a young, I guess, 6-year-old that was at the camp. Then she became a counselor, and then she moved on and became a director, part-time, not a part-time, a director that helped me direct the camp. She went on to college, and when she returned to Springfield College after having coached a women's gymnastics team in Raymond, Maine for about 5 or 6 years, came back for graduate work, and we were in need of a replacement for Mimi Murray, who had been away for 4 or 5 years, and we had a substitute women graduate student coaching the team until then, and Cheryl applied for the job, and we were very happy to have her. She has built upon Murray and what did I just say? Murray, Diane Potter, Mimi Murray. She built upon the program that they started, and with that program, she brought it to new heights. She's won several national championships. She served on all sorts of committees for women's gymnastics in the country. They were in need of her service, and she made Springfield very proud. I'm very, very happy to be able to speak of her in her retirement this evening, almost as a uncle father, but more as a person, a gymnastic coach that admired her ability and what she's done for Springfield College. Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Next, we're going to hear from senior gymnast on the women's team, Brie Kerr. She was an All-American on the uneven bars in 2006. She's a physical therapy major from Bolton, Connecticut.
So, upon hearing Phil's speech, I realized that our speeches are actually very similar. And I think this goes to show how this program really shapes us as gymnasts and as people consistently. So I thought that was kind of funny. So I was asked to speak about my experiences here at Springfield College as a student athlete. And I think the best way to explain it is that it's a feeling. Thanks to hold this. I got it. It's a feeling, and we've all experienced it, and it's honestly hard to put this feeling into words. It's the feeling you get when you're about to salute at your first collegiate meet freshman year, and you've never heard your name cheered so loudly. Or when you're standing on the beam terrified, because you've never been more scared of anything in your life than your flight series. But you hear your teammate's voice behind you say, "Here we go, Brie." You feel this instant sense of confidence overwhelm you. You know your whole team is behind you and that you're part of something so much bigger than just yourself. And despite your shaking extremities and your racing heart, you go for the skill anyway. This energy and this sense of trust and confidence instilled in us by our teammates when you walk into Kredsky Gym is hard to come across elsewhere. The connection we form with our teammates, both from the men's and women's team, is indescribable. I have found some of my greatest role models through this team. People who lift us up and lift all of those up around them. Those who have their worst meet, but when you nail your routine, make you feel like you're on top of the world despite how their day was. People who you can rely on in so many ways. Those who hit their routine every time. People who see you go into the locker room almost in tears from frustration. The locker room beneath the vault, that is. And make you come out laughing and ready to get after it. People who will be there for you, always. I think we can all agree that there's something special about Springfield College. There are so many experiences that I just can't find the right words for. Things that simply cannot be explained. Magic. Those moments that you try to explain to your friends from home and they look at you like you're funny. I loved how you guys in the back were doing the standing O and how that's still something that comes about even today. When you bump into a random alumni on the street and you feel that instant connection. We called you all to promote the show this year, and it was so inspiring to see how excited you all still got about the show and how much pride you had in it. We had gymnasts who were on the phone with alumni they didn't even know for over 20 minutes. The passion for this team and program and school shines through so strongly. There's a quote I love by Isaac Newton, and it goes, "If I have seen further than others, it is by standing on the backs of giants." And these giants are people who have come before us, like all of you, who have paved our path. I am so honored to be a part of this tradition of excellence and to continue to help this program grow from the strong foundation that has been set from the greats of the past. I joined the team at an interesting time. It was Coach Raymond's last year. I was so fortunate to be coached by this legend in the world of D3 gymnastics and beyond, even if it was only for a year. I learned so much from Coach, about myself and what I was capable of, and about what it means to be part of this great tradition. I went on to accomplish things I never thought I would be capable of that year, and I'm so grateful for the coaching and guidance of Coach. Coach is someone who you knew really cared about your well-being, someone who would walk around the circle and ask each one of us personally how our day was. You always knew how to lighten the mood on tough days, like the day you made us play the laughing game. You always gave us just enough structure with just enough love. As I said, I came in at an interesting time. The era of Coach Raymond ended while the new era of Coach Jenna rose. I wouldn't have traded my experience on this team and the timing of my entry for the world. I have been coached and shaped by two phenomenal coaches and two phenomenal women. By two people who are role models in my life and who I look to for guidance when I'm not sure I'm where I want to be. My time at Springfield is coming to an end. Next year, I will be on the other side with all of you. It's a terrifying thought, but I know that this program has prepared me for more than just hitting my routines and being a good teammate. It has taught me how to take on everything with confidence, with pride, and to make a difference in the life of others. The show is a tribute to the greats of the past, all of you. We've had so much fun creating it, and are so excited for you all to be here tonight with us. We hope you enjoy what we have in store for you, and that it brings back great memories that you had at SC. Thank you.
Thank you, Brady. At this time, we'd like to welcome to the podium our current men's and women's gymnastics coaches at Springfield College, Matt Davis, class of 2008, graduate class of 2010, and Jen Najik, a Portland grad. A Portland grad, Jen Najik.
Hi everyone. Thank you all for coming and joining us in this celebration. Before I really begin, I would first like to take a moment and thank Dr. Kirk Poison for not just allowing me this opportunity, but for also being a definition of a leader. It's his vision and work ethic that truly inspires all members of the athletic program to rise to the tradition of excellence that is Springfield College Gymnastics. I would also like to acknowledge the commitment by all these Springfield College coaching icons on both the men's and women's sides here today. They each were able to carve out their own part in the long storied Springfield College gymnastics history. As we spend this weekend looking back, it is amazing to point out where specifically Coach Steve Posner and Coach Cheryl Raymond each were able to take their respective programs over their 35 years of coaching excellence. Now, like many of you here today, I always known these two coaches by the names Pos and Coach. I have always known these coaches, combined, Pos and Coach led the Springfield College Gymnastics programs to over 200 All-American honors, over 30 individual national champions, as well as winning 17 championships. These are some incredible stats. But to me, it is also amazing to think of the number of people both Pos and Coach were able to impact throughout their coaching careers. They successfully were able to instill and pass along what it meant to be a part of not just Springfield College, but the gymnastics programs themselves. This is clearly evident by all of you, the gymnastics alumni, family, and friends here today. As much as these coaches were able to put their fingerprints on the Springfield College gymnastics history, yours can be found there as well. As we were brainstorming names for the home show, the celebrating the tradition of excellence kept sticking out to us. And I think there's a simple reason why. I am sure many of you have the same feeling I get when I return to Alden Street. Sure, the campus has probably changed a little bit since your years here, but the tradition of excellence has and always will remain the same. This is only possible because of the continued support and dedication by all the current and former coaches, administrators, and gymnasts that have been part of the Springfield College gymnastics programs. It's because of this that I truly know the gymnastics at Springfield College will continue to have a bright future, and I know all of you will be there every step of the way. A former Springfield College president, Dr. Wilbert E. Laughlin, once said, "It is not surprising that gymnastics has grown with and been a symbol of Springfield College for so many years. For the essence of Springfield College is energy. And when this energy is directed through dedicated coaching and unselfish practice, the result is a fluid and artistic performance that rewards the participant and the audience." I could not have put the importance of all these great coaches here today and the history of gymnastics at Springfield College in any better words. I really hope you all enjoy tonight's gymnastics exhibition show and look back at the 35 years of coaching excellence of Coach Posner and Coach Raymond. Thank you all for making this weekend so special, and of course, SC Pride, SC Fight.
Hello, alumni, family, friends, and former coaching icons. It's always a little tough going last because everything I have written has already been said. So I'll try to keep this short and sweet. Dr. Poison and John Santer and his team, thank you for your endless support for women's gymnastics and the exhibition show here at Springfield College, but also towards Division III National Collegiate Gymnastics Association. Craig mentioned that John does a lot of work with NCGA. Craig is on the executive board and really pushes for us and makes Springfield known, and it's a really awesome feeling to be a part of. I go to meets and the support I get is uncomparable to every other Division III school, so it's really something special to be a part of. You are the reason Springfield continues to make history in the gymnastics community. I would also like to thank Maria and her staff for planning this wonderful memory-making weekend. It has been a great honor to meet so many alums at once. As John so thoughtfully pointed out, I am not an alum of Springfield College. It made writing this a little bit of a challenge. You guys are kind of an intimidating audience. One thing we do have in common is our love for the sport of gymnastics. For most people in this room, gymnastics is more than just a sport. It's who we are, and it's embedded in our souls. We are gymnasts. We are strong, resilient, and perfectionists. We are willing to take risks and aren't afraid to fail. Instead of giving up, we adapt and find new ways to make it better. We accept nothing but excellence. That, combined with the rich history of tradition of Springfield College, it's no wonder why this is one of the most successful and exciting groups of alumni I have ever seen. Thank you for your continued support as we transition into this new era. It's a humbling day when the coaching icons that built the exhibition show and the gymnastics programs are all in the same room. Frank Wolcott, Diane Potter, Mimi Murray, Stephen Posner, and Cheryl Raymond, thank you for your dedication and leadership. Your combined almost 100 years of coaching excellence produced a successful and dedicated alumni group like no other, and has paved the way for the men's and women's gymnastics programs in the future. Going into my third year, I am so thankful for the opportunity to leave my mark on such a successful and storied program. It has been an honor to continue the legacy and commit to the tradition of excellence at Springfield College. Cheryl Raymond and Stephen Posner, I hope you feel an enormous sense of pride in what you built in your respective 35 years at Springfield College. You have created more than just a sports program, you have created a family. If you guys could come up here, we would like to present you with some flowers and thank you for your service.
There's no doubt that the future of the Springfield College men's and women's gymnastics program is in good hands with those two. Let's hear it again for Jen and Matt. We spent the last hour or so honoring head coaches of our men's and women's gymnastics program. So we'd like to take a second and appreciate the support that they've had within their programs. Starting with current assistant coaches on the women's side, Brian Kogan, Jordan Mitchell, and on the men's side, Dave Albrings, Billy Chin, and Norm Muller. So let's hear a round of applause. And for all the former assistants in the room, let's have another round of applause for them as well. That concludes our brunch program today. Thank you all for coming and enjoy the rest of the day's festivities.